Vampires are mentioned in Isaiah chapter 34, verse 14, and I could prove it. So this is speaking of judgment of Edom in the day of the Lord. And the Edomites came from Esau mating with Canaanite women, right? And it says, "And thorns shall come up in her palaces, nettles and brambles in her fortresses thereof, and it shall be a habitation of dragons, and a court for owls. The wild beasts of the desert shall also meet with the wild beasts of the island, and the satyr shall cry to his fellow. The screech owl," that is the part we're talking about, "shall also rest there, and find for herself a place to rest." Now the word used for this in Hebrew is Lilith, and that translates to a female night demon, right? And the Hebrew word Lilith comes directly from the ancient Sumerian and Akkadian word for Lilitu, which means wind spirit or female demon. Ancient Mesopotamians used the root Lil, which means wind or spirit. This evolved into a class of demons known as Lilitu, female, and Lilu, male, which were believed to be spirits of the night. The word entered in the Hebrew language as Lilith in Hebrew, meaning night monster or screech owl. The Lilitu are night-dwelling female demons from ancient Mesopotamian mythology, who are widely considered the ancient mythological precursors to the modern vampire. Believed to be the spirits of those who died before marrying, they were notorious for haunting the night, seducing men in their sleep, and preying on infants and pregnant women. In ancient Sumerian and Akkadian beliefs, the Lilitu were a class of nocturnal spirits or night monsters derived from the Sumerian word wind or ghost. These beings were typically associated with the unfulfilled spirits of individuals who died before marriage or having children. Over time, these Mesopotamian demon classes directly influenced the legendary figure of Lilith in medieval Jewish folklore, where she became recognized as a rebellious entity and a bringer of chaos. Long before she appeared in Jewish texts, Lilith was known in ancient Mesopotamian mythology around 2000 BCE. She was characterized as a volatile spirit associated with storms, deserts, and the wilderness, and was said to prey on pregnant women and infants. The earliest iterations of Lilith appear to come from Sumerian class of sexual demons known as Lilu. They were also known for seducing men and then draining their blood. They were often depicted with wings and bird-like feet. And unlike modern vampires that rely strictly on biting necks, Lilitu were succubus-like figures who used seduction and manipulation to weaken men. What's interesting is the transliteration of that word Lilith in the Latin Vulgate was Lamia that they used. And look at the chances of it being called Lamia. In Greek mythology, Lamia is a child-devouring monster and night-haunting spirit, just like Lilith, child-devouring and a night-haunting spirit. Both those things are associated with Lilith, so it makes sense they use the same transliteration for that word. Originally a beautiful queen of Libya and a lover of Zeus, she was driven mad and transformed into a serpentine demon after Zeus's jealous wife Hera unalived her children. Then you go down to the bottom, it says Lamia was a daughter of Poseidon because she bore children to Zeus. Hera exacted revenge by either unaliving them or forcing Lamia to destroy them herself. In her grief and madness, Lamia became a monstrous figure who unalived and ate other women's children. Traditional folklore depicts her as a woman from the waist up and a serpent from the waist down. She was said to use her beauty and graceful movements to seduce young men, just like Lilith, in order to drink their blood and devour them. Literal vampire right in our face. Lamia and Lilith are both ancient serpentine demonesses who prey on children and vulnerable men, serving as archetypes of dangerous, untamed femininity. In mythology, both transition from mortal, tragic origins into symbols of nocturnal terror, vampirism, and witchcraft. Both figures are classified as night hags and vampire-like entities. They were notorious for hunting newborns and infants and are frequently portrayed as seductive shapeshifters who lure men to their ruin. The legends of both figures frequently overlap. In the Latin Vulgate translation of the Bible, Isaiah 34:14, the Hebrew word for night monster, or Lilith, was directly translated as Lamia, permanently linking the two in European folklore. You don't say. Lilitu is an ancient Mesopotamian demon. She is connected to the wind in the night, as we read, and people in early history tied her to owls. Both Lilitu and owls are creatures of the dark. They are mysterious and active at night. In early Sumerian myths, Lilitu lived in a willow tree. Owls are famous for living in trees. In some ancient art, like famous Queen of the Night, clay relief, Lilitu is depicted with feet of a bird and stands next to owls. Kind of makes you think of Bohemian Grove and the elite that go there and they worship this owl. And like their owl right here for the Bohemian Grove. It also says at the bottom of this paragraph that the Biblical Archaeology Society, who deeply connects to owls, Lilith, Lady of the Owls, in history, art, and ancient mythology. In the ancient clay tablets, like the famous Queen of the Night, relief show Lilith, the story of Lilith, Inanna, or Ereshkigal. So this might just be the Queen of Heaven. Lilith and Inanna might be the same exact thing. It says, things that talk with bird-like talent is flanked by owls. And just to confirm, the 30 to 40 foot Bohemian Grove hollow owl statue located at the head of a lake in Monte Rio Redwood Forest is the iconic mascot and totem of the Bohemian Club. While the club state symbolizes wisdom, the massive structure serves as a dramatic focal point for the elite's retreat and controversial summer rituals. It's the same thing that's going on in the Schmepstein Island. It's the same thing that's going on with all these elite around the world and what they do to these infants, what they do to these little children. We have actual documentation of them doing sex rituals to them. We have documentation of them doing unaliving of them, consuming their flesh, doing blood magic with them. It's the same exact stuff, just flip to another thing. Schmepstein's Island, Bohemian Grove, this grove. And you wonder why in the Old Testament God was having them go around and destroy all the groves that they built, that the Canaanites built. This all comes from the Canaanites, the serpent seed.